I always thought he was really funny. Once in a while I close my eyes and just think of some of the things that he'd say.
I think he was a great dad. I think he was always supportive, just always kind of had your back and was always looking to the future for you and trying to help push you in that right direction.
I would describe him as strong, intelligent, and loving.
He enjoyed his golf. I think more than enjoying the golf, he enjoyed his friends.
Not only was he a colleague, but became family and a very, very dear friend.
Tell me, how did you and Gordo first meet? Do you remember?
Oh, we went to grade school together. He was in my sister Kiki's class. At Sacred Heart, 1 year ahead of me, because I was very precocious and I was advanced a grade.
What were you first attracted to about Gordo when you were dating? What did you like about him?
I bet his brown eyes. I always wanted brown eyes. He had a good sense of humor. He was very, very responsible. He was funny and caring, very caring. We were married at Sacred Heart Cathedral, where we both had gone to grade school and gone to that church all our lives. We had a wonderful wedding and a wonderful honeymoon in Chicago.
What do you most admire about Gord's relationship with Moot?
I think they had a very wonderful, strong, loving, caring relationship. And throughout the years, we would see other couples drift apart and have troubles, and Muti and Gordo would always come together and talk things out, and if they were having trouble with weak kids, they would work it out. They would talk about it and figure things out, and I think they were both very wonderful in their relationship.
They were just best friends, and probably always like that, you know, and equals too. I mean, I think he always treated Muti with a lot of respect. They were deeply in love with each other all the way through, and just had a lot of respect for each other, and I thought that was neat. You don't always see that in people's relationships.
I first met Gordo and his family in 1993 when I came here for an interview. And so I was looking for a place to practice, and I had at that time just my husband and my daughter. Their reception was just incredible. I had several interviews lined up, but then after we came here, we just decided now we've found our match, so we canceled all the other interviews. We moved here and we didn't have any family, and the Hoffmans, Gordo and family became our family. And someone once told me that this family collect people, and they do. They are just so welcoming and hospitable. And his love for us and his trust and his confidence in us was just immense.
How did he get the name Gordo, do you recall?
Yes. And he didn't like it when he first got it. But I remember we were having a big dinner in the dining room, and we were sitting around, and you were pushing his buttons a little bit, and
Imagine that.
He'd had a couple of cocktails, and he said, "Listen here, Mary Fat." And you went, "Mary Fat? Listen here, Gordo." And kind of got into it a little bit. And it didn't really stick until a couple months later. I guess it did stick because I was calling him that. And we went to a buddy of his, Dr. Johnson, Gino Johnson. And Gino was a great big dude, and he was having a great big dinner with, we had like beef tenderloin and these big bowls of shrimp, and we were passing around the table. And Bill was home, and I went to Gordo. I said, "Hey, Gordo, can you pass me the tartar sauce or the whatever for the shrimp or the the sauce for the shrimp. And Dr. Johnson, he was kind of a powerful big dude, and he looked at me and said, "What did you just call him?" And I thought I was in trouble, that Dr. Johnson was going to be jumping my case because I was not being properly respectful for my father. And I called him Gordo. He said, "That little pipsqueak, he's not Gordo, I'm Gordo." And after that, Gordo loved it. He's like, "Oh, that's my nickname. My kids nicknamed me that." So, and then I think you got him license plates, and then it stuck.
When Bern and I were dating, I was over here late and I just didn't want to drive back to wherever I was housed. And so I slept on the couch in the living room by the piano. And in the morning, I heard the TV turn on, and then I looked over and there was Gordo doing some yoga.
Awesome. To stretch.
To stretch and maintain flexibility. However, he was only wearing a t-shirt.
Wow. What pose did he do?
I think it was a downward dog.
So super. Was he facing you, or were you looking?
It was just, yeah. It was a rear view. Form looked great.
Super good. Oh, and I'm sure you caught that.
Yes, exactly.
Good. Okay, good.
And hips were extended.
Since he's not here to defend himself, he's 100% responsible for the fact that he and I were late for my wedding.
Tell me that story.
Well, we were cutting grass. Then, of course, Gordo decided we should tap that kegger, make sure it was working right for the reception, which we did.
Being dutiful.
And then he looked at his watch and said, "Hey, it's 2:15. The wedding's at 2:30. He said, "You better run down, get a shower, and get into your suit, and I'll get into mine." I believe we arrived about 20 minutes late. There was Shotzi and your mom peering out the church door with, I don't know, a couple hundred people all seated, ready to go.
A lot of times I'll read a book or I'll see something that I would love to discuss with Gordo. For instance, I just finished reading the book of Leonardo da Vinci, which was quite fascinating because he did a lot of things in medicine that I would love to have discussed with Gordo. And when I finished reading the book, my first thought was, "Oh, I gotta call Gordo on Saturday or Sunday and talk." And it's like, no, I can't. And those are so it's little things like that.
I also remember when Gordo and like all the family members used to go to the DCC all the time, and whenever I was there, Gordo would always slip me $20, and he'd be like, "Otto, don't tell anybody about this." And I was like, "I'm not saying anything."
I was snuck out of work one afternoon, and I went up to the club, and I got to the first tee, and there was nobody out there. And I thought, this is great. I said, "I'm going to jump in a cart. I'm going to play in about an hour and a half." And I looked, and I asked the bag boy, I said, "Is anybody out there?" And they said, "No, it's wide open." And he thought about it for a second. He said, "Oh, except for the kangaroo cripples." And I said, "The what?" And he said, "The kangaroo cripples is this group of old guys, and they go out and they have these little electric carts called kangaroos, so we call them the kangaroo cripples." And I just started cracking up because I knew exactly who it was. Gordo, Don Hemming, Tom Lindbergh, and Ron. And they're all out there strolling behind their kangaroos. And it always went, Tom about 100 yards in front of everybody, Gordo and Don talking behind, and Ron 100 yards behind trying to catch up. That's the way they went around the golf course. And so I just started cracking up when the kid called them the kangaroo cripples. And he said, "What's so funny?" I said, "Well, that's my dad and his group." And the kid's like, "Oh my God, please don't tell him, please don't tell him." And so I went out and I played about 8 holes and ran into the kangaroo cripples and played in the rest of the way with them. And then I told them the story afterwards, and they just started cracking up. They're like, "That is hysterical." And I said, "Yeah, that's what all the bag boys call you, the kangaroo cripples." So after that, that's what they were, and they have a little bridge named to them out there with a little plaque on it.
He was wonderful. He was everything I was not. So together we made a good single person.
Tell me about that. What were you that he wasn't, and what was he that you weren't?
Oh, he was just so honest. How about that?
That's a good one.
Honest and fair and kind. He was just the perfect man.
Okay, if you had to come up with three adjectives to describe Gord, what would they be?
He was a very caring individual. So my dad died in 1998, and Gordo really filled the void. And so not only would he lecture Bern, but he'd lecture me too. But I took a lot from those lectures. I mean, he was really a good about money and saving. And, you know, treat yourself, but also, you know, the first 10% needs to go to you, and save and build up your 401k so you can retire.
Loving, giving, and loyal, I guess, would be three that I would come up with. He just really supported us in finding our spot, finding our place. As far away from him as we were, he really supported us in finding that.
I want to say I was so lucky. I married the best man in the world. He was a wonderful husband and a wonderful father, and I miss him to this day. Amen.